board, and then we're going to do big waves out there. So happy Wednesday, happy Wednesday, happy Wednesday. And I'll tell you, it takes a tribe. So thank you for everybody that's always willing to help and that you raise your hand. So appreciated. And we couldn't do this without you. And some of you had to help me on 2 Zooms today, some maybe even 3. So I want to tell you, I'm very grateful. So you all know who you are. So thank you so much. And we have a very special guest tonight. And I know that Coach Palmer is going to be super upset if he is not able to get back on here, but hopefully he is able to come on and hear a little bit and share a little bit because he had some questions for our special guest as well. But I'm going to introduce her and hopefully, okay, we still got her. So her name is Susan Frank. And I had the privilege of meeting her a couple of years ago at an event, and she was real quiet and, didn't really put herself out there too much. And, nobody knew maybe, or at least I didn't, what a powerhouse we were standing next to. And then I had the privilege throughout the spring and summer, I guess it's not even summer, so we're going to say the spring, that I got to spend a little bit of time with her out in Tahiti. And then I got to spend a little bit more time with her in the Bahamas. And if that sounds like I'm bragging, I am, because man, to get to spend time with amazing people and just eavesdrop on their conversations is incredible. Now, to do it in some pretty amazing places isn't too bad either. But really, the true gift was the people that we were there with. And Susan is one of them. So she is a brand new chairperson, but she has some history in this industry. She's been here for a minute. And Susan, I'm hoping you could kick us off. And I know you're in the car and you had a son maybe that had some playoff games tonight. Maybe you can tell us a little bit. But if you would kick us off with your story, kind of how you found this industry, what it's done for your family, and then we'll pick your brain a little bit after that, if you don't mind.
Absolutely. Andrea, congratulations on what you've done and earning the trips and just being a leader here, running this call. I just appreciate what you do. But kind of how this industry found me, I'm at my son's baseball tournament, and you can do this business from anywhere. Like, people have their phones, but I'm a registered nurse. That's my background. I always wanted to help people. That's kind of how I became a nurse and what led me to that career path until I became a new mom. And we had a Sunday school class that said, "Ask and ye shall receive." So I started praying and asking for something to help me to be a new mom and to be able to be with my child, because 12 hours a day away, and then I commuted an hour each way to work. That's a long and a lot of days to be away from your kids. So I was looking at working nights, weekends, and I was introduced to a home-based business at a get-together, and I just took it as an answer to my prayer, and I was like, "Oh my goodness, like, this is what I've been looking for, something I can do from home." And I actually asked my husband's aunt, like, "Can I work for you?" And she's like, "Actually, you can be my business partner." So I got started, and I was like, there has to be other people that either want extra income or want to stay at home. And with this company, they want better health. And it's just been incredible, the blessing that it offers and the wonderful people that I've met through this type of business. And I mean, getting to go on those vacations, but I have an amazing team, and everybody in this company is a team and all works together. And that's what I love, is positive people that want better, that want to find the best health. And I'm a retired registered nurse. I do this full time, and it can do it from anywhere and still be able to help people and have a purpose, because we're all on this earth for a purpose. And I feel like we're all here to help each other. And it's just incredible what we have our hands on with Partner Co.
Oh my goodness. Well, I love that. And it definitely shows that you have a heart for helping people. Oh, okay. I don't know who added me on there, but thank you very much. I actually have a feeling, but thank you for that. But you can see that you do have a heart for helping people in everything, along with being willing to jump on here tonight on a busy night with your family. And I am so grateful. So thank you for that. And you're helping a lot of people on your team. And so what I was hoping you could share with us so we could kind of step into your world a little bit, that, when you're bringing on a new brand partner, okay, that, you're helping somebody get started. If you could lay out the perfect scenario, right? So how you get that person started, what you do with them to kind of get them up to speed, that kind of thing.
Absolutely. I love to keep it simple because that's just kind of my motto. And so I basically get them to download boards. I get them to make their first Facebook post. Like I will get them on Zoom or kind of hold their hand while they make that first post. And I teach people, like I try to sell the drops off. What are the drops? And what is the price? So I kind of teach them how to keep it simple, how to make their first post. I get them to make their first post. I was on a training with somebody else and they're like, oh, just post tomorrow at 9. We'll just practice. I was like, oh, no, you're not practicing. Like you're posting. You're going to hit post. It might not be 9 o'clock, but you're making your first post right now. And then I go through and I comment on their posts and I'm like, look, when somebody comments, I show them how to go to the private message and not to do it on main Facebook, and how to use the text script. So basically, I teach them how to be successful right away and to really watch when people comment to reply back quickly and kind of keep an eye on it for the next little bit. And then I teach them, listen, once you get a customer, take care of your customer. Like once they get the drops, follow up in a few days, follow up in a week. Once you get a win, hey, you want to save. If you know they want to make extra money, you can do save and earn and get them converting. And I tell people, don't tell this business, don't try to convert by yourself. Like get me on a 7-minute Zoom or a call and let's do this together so they can kind of see the system. And Andrea, I know you're great at training that and doing that and just keeping it simple. Hey, minimum, you want to post at least at 9 and 3 twice a day. Make sure you're replying back. And if they don't have Venmo set up, I have them set up Venmo. And I feel like people can do that on their own. So I'm like, if you don't have that, here's the directions. You can do that on your own.
Well, I love that. And you did. And Brent, I saw you were unmuted, so I didn't know if that meant you had something you wanted to add here.
Yeah, I do. I actually do. And everybody, Susan and Josh have become my new BFFs. I love them because, Andrea, you know this from being around me. Like every time somebody asks me, like, have you built this industry? Have you done what you do? I'm like, so simple. I try to keep it so simple. And sometimes people even get mad at me because they're like, okay, you got to come with better stuff. Like you've been to our event over and over and over, and you just got the same stuff. And I'm like, well, it's just not complicated. Like I would have to try to make it more complicated. And so I love Susan. Like I love the simplicity talk. And Susan, I was going to ask you, like, how important is it, speaking of the first brand partner, like brand new brand partner? And I want everybody to think about your new brand partner. Okay. Hopefully tonight will be one of those things where you go, oh man, I've learned something. Like I might have did it wrong, but it's not doing it wrong. It's learning. We're in a learning curve here with this industry. It's a profession. So Susan, how important is it to plug your brand partner in to the group, the team, the something right out of the gate? Like, what do you plug them into? Like, and how important is it to plug your new brand partner, not just leaving them dangling out there, not being a part of the community?
Absolutely. It's so important to plug them in. I know Circle of Health is a fabulous place to plug people in. And on the business side, I'm like, you got to get on the IPA call. Like if you work a job, take your lunch early, take your break. Like if you really want to make money here, you got to get on that call, because I take notes on that call and learn stuff every single day. And I tell people, when you learn something, like don't just sit there and be like, oh, that's a good idea. Like implement it right away. Like, go take action. Like if you feel like, hey, that's a good tip, or I should do that. Like today, Michelle McKay said drops or shots on Messenger. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to go do that right now. So really taking action and implementing what you learn on that call. And
Susan,
I love
that's
your
huge.
Tahiti shirt. Like Brent was in Tahiti. Once you can afford to go buy clothes like they give you clothes, it's pretty incredible.
It's absolutely incredible. And if somebody's on the call, if you could put the IPA call info, I know it's in boards, but we want to put it in the comments too. If somebody could put it in here, if you're not on that IPA call Monday through Friday, like it is worth, like I can't express how much it's worth to you. If you get on there, don't compare, get on there to learn, to grab a nugget, apply it to your business that day. I know Susan's done that a million times. I know I've done it a million times. And one of the things I caught this morning that Michelle McKay, our brand new CEO, said, she said, I have appointments all day today leading up to the Wednesday night wisdom. And one of the things that she plugs her brand new people into is the Wednesday night wisdom, Andrea's call. Why? Because she knows that Andrea is going to give everybody info for the week, sales that are going on in the company. Like she blurs the lines of sponsorship. It's not just about her team. And so this is a great call for people to plug their newbies into. So I picked that up from Michelle McKay today. So Andrea, I'll turn it back to you. But Susan, thanks for your leadership. Thanks for everything you do.
Well, thank you. I appreciate what you guys do.
Well, we're honored to play cross line, right? Like that's the fun part. And I'll tell you, my favorite calls that I do, the favorite things that I do are with people that are in sideline organizations, because then we get to, really learn and hear how things might be done a little bit differently. And so it's always such an honor to have people like that on here. So I appreciate that. And you touched on something, Susan, and I'm hoping that we can pick your brain, because I love that, watching, yourself and the other people that you had there that are just rocketing their businesses. They're achieving a lot, right? And one of the ways that you're doing that is through conversion. And you touched on it really quickly, but will you walk us through, pretend like we've never converted a single customer? Maybe I've sold 10 boxes of drops or 100 boxes of drops, but what would your advice be? What would the steps be that if I were yours, what would you have me do to convert those droppers?
If you were my customer, when I check on you, I'm like, hey, tell me the good drop news, because 8 out of 10 people are going to tell you something negative. So you don't say, how are you doing? Because 8 out of 10 people are going to tell you everything bad about their life and their day. So tell me the great drop news. So that pulls out a positive. So the minute I get a positive, I'm like, do you like to save? ? Well, yeah. Well, and then I just text back, is morning, afternoon, or evening best to hop on a 10-minute Zoom? And that's it. If that's all I say, and people will come back with morning, they'll come back with whatever. And some people will say, well, I don't sell. And I'm like, that's exactly why I want to show you. I'm going to show you how to save, not to sell, how to save. And when they get on the call and once they see the conversion, and I use the conversion presentation in boards, like I don't do anything fancy. I know some people will say, well, I want to change the pictures, or I want to show my picture. Well, I don't, because I want the new person to say, well, I can do that. I don't want them to think they need a testimony like mine. I mean, I've lost 48 pounds on the drops. I got a great before and after. Well, my before isn't the best. I'm hiding behind my baby. I'm like, hey, be sure to take a good before picture, because I didn't, and I wish I had one. But I don't want them to think, well, I got to do this first. So that's why I use the same presentation every time. Keep it simple, keep it duplicatable. And it doesn't make somebody think, well, I got to go do that. And I just go through the presentation. And then when it's over, I'm like, oh, well, I'll just text you the information. Or if I'm doing it, if Andrea's my customer, I'm like, I'll just text you the information that I need to get you set up. and I just text her over like the information that I need.
Okay, I
I'm-
love that.
I love it.
I'm like, we're both sitting here with moon eyes because we're like, yes, that's exactly what we want. That's exactly
We
what we
do.
want people to do.
That's exactly what we did. I mean, I was traveling yesterday and I was at the airport and just text over and said, here's the information I need. And they send back. Like, I mean, it's so easy to just, people want to be told what to do. And so Susan does a great job of just telling somebody what to do. And guess what? 9 times out of 10, they do it. They do it. So, oh man, I love it.
Well, there were some keys there. If you guys like, I needed to bring a bigger piece of paper because anyway, if you saw my desk right now, but there were some keys. And I've never thought of it this way, but what Susan said was 8 out of 10 people are going to tell you the bad news. And isn't that true? I don't know about your house, but like if I call my folks, I'm not going to hear about the highlights of their day. I'm going to hear every low light, right? Like everything possible that could have gone wrong that day. And then at the end of the conversation, they're going to say something, well, and then also mom got her hair done and she really likes it, right? So we're going to get kind of the negative first. But if we set up the conversation, tell me the good news, tell me how you're benefiting, tell me the good stuff. That's what I want to hear. Well, then people will try, just like Coach said, they want to follow directions, they want to play along. So they're going to try to bring us that good stuff. And then I can do that. Anybody else guilty of trying to make something perfect? Anybody else guilty of trying to like change this, change that? Because this prospect needs something a little different. Like, am I the only one that tries to fix things? But then they're gonna, if they do jump on board, I just made their life more difficult because they're gonna think that they have to fix things. They're gonna think they have to have their before and after, and it better be a big one, right? Like Susan's there. They're gonna think where if I just leave it simple, then they're gonna think, oh, I can do that. That I can do, Coach. I think we had that conversation a little bit earlier today.
Yes.
I can do that. That I can do. So I love that. Keep it simple. And then I do love that you text over. And I actually have that on my boards where I have a private board where I have, the getting started kind of script where I say, I need your name and I need your birthday and I need your email address. And Susan, I never thought about telling my team to put that on their board so that they could do the same thing. So I'm doing the face palm right now, and I'm so grateful that you shared that. So thank you so much for that. And I've got one last question, and then Coach, if you've got anything else that you want, but when you have somebody message you, Susan, so you're posting your pictures, you're doing the 9 and 3, the 9 and 3, and somebody reaches out to you and they say they want the drops. Do you sell them the drops or do you go instantly for a brand partner? And either way, what's your process for that?
I might need Michelle McKay to talk on this because she did this morning on the IPA call. I'm like, dang, she's pushing more volume than I am on that because I just use the text scripts. Like, I'm simple. I'm like, here, what are the drops? What is the price? And that's what I try to sell them. And then I try to convert them later. But Michelle, I mean, you might want to let her talk because she's getting a brand partner right away.
Well,
Yeah.
maybe we'll have Michelle talk about that next week. I'm already put her up on the dock.
Absolutely. And that's another cool thing about the IPA is there's like you pick up so many tips and strategies from people that are getting it done. And I mean, Susan, like I said the same thing when I heard Michelle McKay. I said, oh, I need to up my game a little bit because listen, this is a funny. So there was a post I made the other day and I was just following the boards, but I messed up and I posted the wrong picture. And so it said, I don't know if you guys saw that, but it was like, hi, my name's Brent Palmer. I don't know what it said. And then I posted a picture of the boxes of drops. And I mean, how can you mess up the boards? Guess what? I did. I did. And somebody said, hey, I think you messed up your post. Actually, Crystal Vance. So I think you messed up your post. So actually do look at your post when you post it. I'm just so like bang, 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 bang that sometimes so when Michelle said that today, I'm like, I probably could take a little bit more time and convert somebody interested into realizing, hey, it might take 4 months for them to get to where they want to go on their transformation. So, Susan, I do have a question for you, and I know you're driving. So, y'all have been at this, and I try to say this all the time, but I see people come and go in our industry. Like I'll see somebody on fire. I love Olivia Sykes. So Olivia, I'm not talking to you, but I'm going to use your name. Olivia is on fire. Like she's starting to grow. She's made $4,000 last month selling the boxes of drops. And then 2 months later, we don't see Olivia anymore. She started unplugging. And it's like, it's so sad to me, but I also know that this road is long and it takes perseverance and it takes not comparing and it takes staying the course. What would you say to somebody like on this call right now, Susan, like how important is it to play the long game in our profession? Like you're here, you've raised your babies, like you're raising your babies, you're watching them play, like you do all these things, but you've played the long game in our industry, you and Josh. And so what would you tell somebody tonight? I don't know if I'm even saying it right, but like, I just want everybody on here tonight to be here a year from now. Show up every Wednesday, wisdom night, stay plugged in. Don't stop plugging in. And if you feel guilty for like not doing your activities for a day or two, we don't care. We love you. We want you to stay the course with us. And so what would you tell everybody on here tonight, Susan? How important is it to be here this time next year? And there will be people on this call that's not. It makes me so sad for them.
It's so crucial. I mean, it's like if you unplug a lamp, it's not gonna shine. Like you can't make that lamp work. If it works by electricity, you gotta plug it in. And the same way for this business, like you gotta plug yourself in. You gotta have your cord and plug into the IPA call, plug into the trainings, plug in the PXP. That will grow your mind. If you're not planning to go to Orlando, like make a plan today, because that can help get your vision and realize what you have your hands on. Because in this business, it doesn't matter your last name, who you are, your background, your history. It just matters that you have a want to, and that you will take your plug and you will plug in, and what you learn, you will take action and keep stepping forward. And if you'll be persistent, consistent, and excited and positive, then you can go change your life forever. As a nurse, I had a glass ceiling. Like they told me when they hired me, like, here's your price tag on your back and this is what you're worth. It doesn't matter how hard you work, how good you are at your job, how many patients that you change their life. It doesn't matter. And this business in Partner Co., you have no glass ceiling. The sky's the limit. You can go do big things for you and your family. You can go do big things for your friends, but you got to keep stepping. And if you stop stepping, if you have one person that has joined you in this business, they loved you, trusted you, cared about you enough to join you, how in the world could you ever quit on them? And that's how I always felt. Like they believed in me and locked arms with me. I will never stop stepping. And that is the key, is just to keep on stepping, and you can change your life. And I learn stuff all the time. So never think, oh, I'm so good at this, I don't need to learn anything. Like I'm on the IPA call every single day that I can be, and learning everything that I can. So I learn new things all the time. But don't let new people make you make it complicated, because it's so simple, and complicated minds want this to be complicated sometimes. So you really got to stand your ground and say, listen, you made X dollars in this period of time by doing what we have. Like, just keep doing it and teaching people to do it.
That's
Holy
powerful.
moly.
Yeah, I'm taking lots of notes.
Wrap a bow around this. She just gave you the present of the month. It was a wow factor. And it's why you're looking at a lady that will be on top of this company, and she knows it's a unicorn. And I think maybe the last thing I would ask you, Susan, I'll let you go. I know you're driving or riding. What do we got our hands on? You know it. Like Susan said in Tahiti, guys, I set 3 doors down. I don't know, 3 or 4 bedroom doors down from, and listened to her out on the balcony in Tahiti, getting up in the morning. Like I could hear her out there, like she's working the lines. She's on a Zoom. She's out in the deck of the pool area on a Zoom at 4 a.m. And most people would go, why are you doing that? She doesn't have to, but she knows timing. She knows where we're at in the company. She knows the unicorn we're a part of. And she knows this will always be a great opportunity, but what we have our hands on right now is something that is a very rare place and time in our industry, and we want everybody to grab it and run with it. Susan, could you elaborate on that as you close, like just finish up, like what do we have our hands on right now in your mind, in Susan, Frank mind? What do we have our hands on?
Oh, it's just so incredible. From the ownership of this company that really care to, we can say, hey, we need this, this, and this, and they're listening and they make it happen. And I've never in this industry seen a product that truly sells for retail, the retail money that we're able to get. I mean, people want weight loss. They want hormone balance. They want energy. They want to feel better. They want extra income. Like, we have everything people are looking for with no side effects. I mean, that's incredible. And then we got Renew coming in behind it. Like, they're very strategic and very smart to have, hey, we have over 100 products that can help people all across the board. But we also have the leadership of this company, from the marketing plan that's simple, from all of us leaders that work together, from the trip programs that, I mean, I've never been on a trip like that in my entire life. Tahiti, that was just life changing within itself. And we're at the right place at the right time. Stuff's so expensive, like people are needing extra money, and we just have our hands on something that is changing lives very quickly. And we're at the right place at the right time. We're on the edge of a product going viral that people don't even know exists yet, and here we are. So it's just, there's definitely favor on everybody's life that has their hands on this, and it's our job to go share this gift and go help people that need help right now. And some people don't need it, but they'll take a hold of it. And that's what has amazed me, is people with money do things differently, and they love this. So it's just incredible. And you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So see who you surround yourself with. Is that where you want to be? Like, you got to step it up and really go be the person and write out the goals and take steps to make those goals happen. Do not have a scarcity mindset, because there is no scarcity here, and there shouldn't be for anybody that has their hands on.
Well, Susan, that was incredible.
Yeah, that was absolutely. I mean, Andrea, that's one thing Susan said in Tahiti, is we're not dreaming big enough. Like, if I look at Donna Davis, like, Donna, we can dream bigger. Olivia, we can dream bigger. Martha, like we can dream bigger. If you're on this call tonight, like, we're not dreaming big enough for what this company can do. And Michelle McKay said it really good this morning. If you were listening in on the IPA Zoom, she said, my goal is to put the drops into 1 million people's hands. She said, we've put about 1,600 people in with the drops. She's got 1 million people in her mind. You think she's dreaming big? Imagine what 1 million people in her downline looks like, because she's put them in as customers and converted them to brand partners. So don't sit around and go, I've sold like 70 boxes or 700 boxes. I've saturated the market. Everybody knows about the drops. While Michelle McKay's over there going, oh, I'm going to put it in 1 million people's hands. How big's your dream? How big's your goals? Like, what are you waiting on? Are you doing drop talk events? Are you posting twice a day? Are you converting them, your customers, to brand partners? Like, you got a long way to go to get to 1 million people, right? So we've got a long way to go to saturate the market. How big's your dreams? And that's something Susan hammered home in Tahiti. I'm so thankful that she did, Andrea. I'll turn it back to you. This has been amazing tonight.
Well, incredible. And guys, if you wouldn't mind, put some love in the chat for Susan, because she's busy, she's running around, and she still took the time for us tonight to share all of this wisdom. And I got to say, I cannot wait to hear from her again. And so what I'm going to say to you is, if you want to be able to hear Susan speak live, if you want to be able to see her watch the stage as a chairperson, walk the stage, excuse me, if you want to get words of wisdom from her in person, make sure you're registered for PXP. I know she's going to be there. I know that we could all benefit from her wisdom there. So make sure that you get your tickets and see there, and go keep stepping. I think that might have been one of the biggest things, that if any of us have even had one person trust us enough to jump on board, then it's our responsibility to keep on taking the next step so that they can be there with us. So keep stepping. Let's go give a little bit of love for Susan. Thank you so much. And guys, thank you for tuning in with us tonight. Always appreciate spending these evenings with you. And Coach, maybe get back inside before you get blown away out there. And appreciate all of you. Thank you so much. Love you, and happy Wednesday. Thank you so much, Susan. Appreciate your time. Y'all have a great night.
Love you guys.
Bye.
Thank you.